Right. So, good morning to one and all of you guys. So, in this particular module, we are primarily going to, discuss, the steps related to integrating OIM with ServiceNow. Okay. So, I believe you have already, you would have looked into my other modules where we discussed integrating OIM with Active Directory. So, it involved a couple of steps like, installing the connector and then installing the connector server and then uh, doing the various configuration steps like application instance, creating the form, and then finally we tested the provisioning the user account. Yeah. So I thought I would probably prepare a couple of modules similar to what we did for Active Directory, for integrating OIM with ServiceNow. Okay, so let's get started now, and I hope you're all able to see my screen. Okay, so before we start integrating OIM with ServiceNow, there are some couple of steps which are prerequisites which we need to have. So basically, we would need to have the developer instance of ServiceNow, which you can get it registering in ServiceNow Pay portal, and then you would just register with your personal email account, and then get the trial version of ServiceNow. So basically, there are lot of releases released by ServiceNow, like uh, Madrid, New York, and Helsinki, and various other releases. They normally really name the release based on some countries and all that. So in my instance, I'm using the New York release, the latest release, the New York release of ServiceNow. Okay, so also secondly, you need to obviously have OM, and I'm using the same 11gr2PS3 instance which I used it for Active Directory. Okay, so the very first step which we need to normally begin before integrating ServiceNow is you have to get OAuth client ID and the client secret parameters of ServiceNow. Okay, so basically, OIM talks to ServiceNow through REST APIs and all that. So we would need something called an OAuth client ID. Okay, which OAuth is basically, the authorization framework which would enable application or service, limited access to some protected resource, HTTP resource. Yeah, so it's the authorization framework basically. So the very first step you would be generating the client ID. So I hope you're all able to see my screen, and the very okay, as soon as you log into the ServiceNow page, this is the home page that you would normally be using, that you would normally be accessing. And then so here I just give something like type OAuth, okay, and then you get something called the application registry, because we first need to be registering our application OIM to talk to ServiceNow. Okay, so I just click on this application registry, and then here I need to, you know, uh, that would be something called, the new client endpoint. Let me just go back. Okay, I just go to the application registry, and here I just click on, see here you see the various endpoints, um, which is by default, I know they provided to communicate with various endpoints, like for ADFS, Okta, Google, Azure AD, and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to register for OIM here, and here I just give the first one, create an OAuth API endpoint for external clients. Okay, and I just give some name like OIM Snow app. Okay, OIM Snow app. And then I just need to copy this client ID, okay, because we'll be using this client ID to, when we configure this IT resource. And basically, you can actually give the client secret if you need, I can actually select some client secret. It would be in the, uh, so it would be hidden in, clear text and not in plain text. Yeah. So yeah, So it would be encrypted. I will just be let me clear this and then type some complicated password. All right. I just click on submit now. Okay. All right. So now this OAuth, we have generated the OAuth client secret and the client ID uh, for OIM now. So we would be using this in our subsequent module. So after this, we are going to be installing the connector for ServiceNow, and then we'll be configuring the IT resource parameters. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for patiently looking into this video. Thank you.